It's a mimer from Tavshin Chavtes, Shabbos Parshas Baha'alotcha. It's also a Mugedike mimer. Came out from Tesvav Sivan, Tavshin Nun Aleph. Tesvav Sivan, yesterday's date being the date of the arrest of the Frierdiker Rebbe on Tafresh Pei Zayin 1927. Baha'alotcha Saneda is when you will kindle and raise up the candles of the menorah, the beginning of this week's parsha. Isabel Kudei Torah, it's brought down Kudei Torah, the neiros Heinan Neshamas. The candles that it's referring to, that Aaron kindles, is going on the neshamas of Yidden. Like it says in the pasuk, Ner Havai Nishmas Adam, the candle of Hashem is the soul of a person. Zayin haneres da menorah, and the 7 candles that are on the menorah. Zayin sugi b'nei Yisrael ba'avodas Hashem. These are 7 different types of Yidden in their service of Hashem. Yesh oived ma'ava, there are those that serve out of love. Moshe chamayim, like the pasuk says, drawn like water, which water has to do with chesed. Yesh ma'ava kirish b'yesh gvura v'chula. And then there's those that serve like a flaming fiery love, which is the level of Gvura, etc. And so on. Throughout all the 7 midas, that's what the 7 candles correspond to. The Rebbe Marash explains in his Maimer by the same title, that was said 100 years prior to when this Maimer was said. This Maimer was said in Tavshin Chavtes, 1969, and the Rebbe Marash said the Maimer by that title on Tafresh Chavtes 1869. The reason why the neshamas are called candles is Maimer Rabbi Chazal, like Chazal said, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hashem said Lo Adam. Hashem said to a person, Neiri biyodcha, my candle is in your possession, is in your hands. V'nercha biyodi, and your candles in my hand. Neiri biyodcha zu Torah, my candles in your hand. This is going to Torah. The chsiv, as it says in the pasuk, Kineir mitzvah v'Torah oir, because the candle is a mitzvah and the Torah is light. So we see that the Torah is likened to a candle. V'nercha biyodi, and your candles in my hands. One nefesh, it's going on the person's nefesh. The chsiv, like it says in the pasuk, Ner Havai Nishmas Adam, that the candle of Hashem is the soul of a person. Im shamartas neidi, if you will observe, if you will guard and take care and protect my candle, that is, in other words, the Torah, and im shameres nercha, I will guard and protect your candle, which is the soul, the nefesh. Im kibisas neidi, if you extinguish my candle, and im mechabes nercha, I will extinguish your candle. The Rebbe asks on this, we need to understand. The fact that the neshamas are called candles from a foolish because explicit in the pasuk. The soul of a person is the neshama of a person. The soul of Hashem, the candle of Hashem is the soul of a person. Why is it the Rebbe Marash feel the necessity to bring in the Maimer the words of the Medrash, my candles in your hands and your candles in my hands? What does that add to the idea, to the discussion? We already know a pasuk that the neshama of a person is likened to a candle. Also, we need to understand the pasuk Nemar Neir Havai Nishmas Adam. Then pasuk it says that the neshama of a person is Hashem's candle. It's a Neir of Hashem. Shan neshama Neir Havai. In the Medrash it says that the neshama is your candle, addressing the person. It's the person's candle. And what's Hashem's candle? Not the neshama. The Torah is the candle of Hashem, and that's why Hashem says, you're going to watch my candle, the Torah, then I'm going to watch your candle, which is the neshama. Top of the next page. Oizvav. Not Oizvav, Oizbeis. We can explain this by prefacing what's explained in many places. The Inyan Baha'alotcha, who, what's the idea of the kindling of the neiros? The Aaron awakens and inspires the neshamas, that they should have the will to go upwards. V'ad likol ba'atzmus Ein Sof, until become part of the very essence of the Ein Sof. V'agam the rotzen zeh tavad neshama, though this will is the nature of the neshama, k'mavur ba'tanya, like it's explained in Tanya, that tam shan neshamas nikroim b'shem neidus. The reason why neshamas are called neidus, the Alter Rebbe explains, hu kikim v'shan neir tivoi laus l'mayla v'dovik b'sharshet. Just like a physical candle, by its nature, the fire it wants to go upwards and to become part and return to its root. What is the root of the candle? In the general element of fire that's located under the sphere of the moon. So just like a physical fire draws upwards, so to the neshama is in the nature of drawing upwards to go up above, to become part of the source where it was hewn out from. So if that's the natural state of the neshama, that the neshama wants to go upwards, why does Aaron have to kindle the candles? The neshama itself is already a candle. The neshama itself wants to go upwards. So the Rebbe explains in line 11, Mekal Mokim still in all. We need that Aaron should raise up, kindle the candles which are neshamas, because through the descent of the neshama down here below, and becoming enclosed in the body, so the nature of this drawing upwards becomes concealed. And this idea is the mimer is going to explore as we go on. Like to explain at length in the Mamorim, amongst the reasons why the neshamas of Atzilus are called human seed or human descendants. And the neshamas of Bia are called animal seed, animal descendants. Because the neshamas of Atzilus, Gambir Dosam Lamata, also in their descent down below, the nature of their drawing upwards and the nature of their ascent is in a revealed state. So that has to do with being called Adam. And that's why they're called by the name Adam, because what the pasuk says, Al Shem Ruach HaAdam Ha'oili L'mayla. The pasuk says that the spirit of an Adam draws upwards. That's what it says in Kehelos. So therefore, that drawing upwards has to do with the neshamas of Zera Adam. Neshamas, the Bri Yitzirasiya, and the neshamas of Bia, Shem Roiv neshamas, that is the majority of neshamas. The Rebbe in the footnote brings down from Torah Oir that Kemat, all the neshamas of our generation are neshamas the Bia, because neshamas the Atzilus, that falls into the category of where it says, Ra'isi b'nei aliyah v'himuatim, I saw elevated people, they are few, and that was few, even in the Rashbi said it, and even in his days, it was few. So these generations are definitely, the vast majority of the neshamas are from Bia. So therefore, Kishain Yerdis, Lamatim, Slapshis Beguf, when they descend below and they become clothed in the body, they're drawn after the body and matters of this physical world. Therefore, they're called an animal. That very same pasuk in Gehala says the spirit of an animal draws downward. So therefore, it's negating or blocking that nature that the neshama has to draw upwards. That's why Aaron needs to be brought into the picture. Vavidosa shall Aaron need avoid of Aaron, top of page Zayin. Is loiter or galsas teva rotzui va'aliyah sheyesh negam neshamas debri yitzirasiyah, to awaken and to reveal the nature of the drawing upwards and the ascent that's to be found even in the neshamas of Bia, and that's what it means baha'loischa haneidus, when you kindle and when you raise up the candles. Aaron's job is to bring about that the nature of the ascent should be in a revealed state in the neshamas of Biyah. It says in the second paragraph, line 4, Mavur Bedrushim, it's explained in the Mamon, the Atam Shallos HaNeira is the reason for the ascent of these candles. Gili Tavarotzi Valir the Neshamas, the revelation of this nature of this drawing upwards and the ascent of the Neshamas. Why the Aaron Davke? Why is it specifically through Aaron? Ki Aaron ksiv Geshem Atoiva Yered Al Geshem Atoiva Al Roish Yered Al Zakan. Zakan Aaron Sheyered Al Pimidoisav. By Aaron it says, like the good oil upon the head that goes down over on the beard of Aaron that descends over the simple meaning is his garments. The Inyan Zakan Aaron. What is the beard of Aaron? What's the significance of that? Hu hilchos haTorah. The halachas of Torah has to do with the beard. We have this in the concept also in the end of Tanya and the Gersa Kodesh or in Kutras Achron, that the halachas are likened to hair because they are just like in the hair of the head, there's a very minuscule amount of life force that comes out from the brain, that the brain has the major amount of intellect and just some small amount of life force and energy comes down to the hair. The same thing is mishtalshel from the Chachma, Ilav, Atzilus, from the Seichel of the Eibishter to come down to the halachas down here below. So therefore, Aaron, who is connected with this level of Zakon, the level of the beard, the idea of Torah, he has the capability to cause the elevation in the neshamas. Vaydei haTorah, through Torah. Torah is the fire, the light. You have to kindle the candle with the fire and the light. So he has the level of Torah, which is Torah. Misgalo Meir Teva Aliyah, the neshama becomes revealed and shines the nature of the ascent of the neshama. That this nature is there even when it descends down here below and it's enclosed in the body, except it needs to be revealed. That's why Aaron is the one that you are the one that raise up the candles. Is the Maimer Abseinu Zal. Hamuva b'Maimer im shamarta es neira and im shamer es neirchal v'aloischas ha-neiros. Now it's understood the connection, or now we can explain the connection of what the Chazal say. If you will guard my candle, I will guard your candle. To our pasuk v'aloischas ha-neiros that we asked before. Seemingly we have Kiner Hashem Nishmas Adam. Why we bring in this idea of the Medrash, if you guard my candle, I will guard your candle. So he says, the idea that Hashem says, I will guard your candle, meaning the guarding of the candle so it shall not become extinguished. That means the candle of the neshama, which is Teva Harotzi V'Aliyah Shalom, the nature of drawing upwards, the nature of its ascent, Yeh Begili, that should be revealed. That is what we need to guard the neshama's neir. The fact that the guarding of the candle of the neshama, meaning the elevation and causing it to rise upwards despite being enclosed in a body, that's through the guarding of the candle of the Torah. It's similar to the idea that who is the one that's able to kindle the candles in Am Yisrael to kindle and raise up their fire. That is done through Aaron, which is the level of Torah. Oizgim. And the Maimer continues. We need to understand what is it, the connection that we say that if you guarded my candle, I will guard your candle. What's the association? It's not just a cute thing. We have a candle, Hashem has a candle, and Hashem says, okay, you do for me, I'll do for you. Obviously, as we know, schar mitzvah, the reward for a mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. It must have an association. The guarding of the Torah and the guarding of the neshama has to have an association one with the other. Additionally, they're not just associated, they're dependent one on another. Because you say, only if you do this, will you have that. And he explains this according to what it's brought down the Medrash. In other words, all the Dvar Malchus Maimer is saying. The Medrash says, in whose merit were created, these are the histories of the heavens and the earth, and in the merit of whom are they standing, do they remain? So the Medrash does a Gzeira Shava. It says Eila Tolos Hashemayim V'Aretz, and it says about the Yidden, it says the word Eila. So he says B'schus Eila Shmais Bnei Yisrael. The Eila Tolos Hashemayim V'Aretz stand in the merit of the Eila. These are the names of Bnei Yisrael. Further, how did the Bnei Yisrael stand? The Eila B'schus Mi'ayimdim. And these, meaning the Eila Shmais Bnei Yisrael, in whose merit are they standing? So there's another Eila to give them the strength. B'schus Eila ha'edis v'achukim ha'mishpatim, and the merit of these are the testimonial laws, the decrees, and the civil laws. Sha'kavana the b'riyas ha'olam hi b'shvil Yisrael. What does this Maimer Chazal mean? That the intention, the purpose of the creation of the world is for the sake of the Yid. Vashlem is the Yisrael, the idea Torah, and the perfection, the completion of Yidden is through Torah. Dal Yidei ha'itche Yisrael, Mekayim ha'tayag mitzvahs, top of page Ches, through Yidden fulfilling the 613 mitzvahs, they ascend to a much higher level than they are on their own. This is why the neshama descends down here below and becomes enclosed in the physical body to fulfill Torah mitzvahs. Seemingly, what's the logic behind it? It's going lower than where it originated from. Because through fulfilling Torah mitzvahs, the neshama arises even much higher than it was prior to its descent. So this is the same idea of that this is the idea that if you guard my candle, meaning the Torah, I will guard your candle. How is the candle of the neshama guarded? That's protected. That's through the protection of the candle of the Torah. So, but we just now established that the neshama has an even greater aliyah, an even greater elevation than when it descended before. It's not just guarding it and maintaining it. So he says in line 9, according to what he wrote in the Maimer, the idea that if you protect my candle, I will protect your candle. Through the fulfillment of the Torah mitzvahs, the neshama rises up even higher than it was before its descent. Yesh loymar, we could say the reason why he connects this medrash with our parsha with bahalois chasaneres, gam inyan bahalois chasaneres, also the idea of your raising up the candles is aliyah shenasa b'neshamas l'mayla yoysa gamak moishoysa kaidem hayu kyan yirasol mata. Bahalois chasaneres has the same quality. We're not just raising up the neshamas to reveal its innate desire to connect with Hashem, but we're bringing it to have a higher level of ascent and a higher level of going up, even beyond what it was before it descended. That's why it's necessary for the Maimer, the Dvar Malchus, to bring that medrash to help us understand bahalois chasaneres, to help, because through that we realize that the bahalois chasaneres is to a level higher than where it descended from initially. So the Rebbe is going to elaborate upon this. To explain this matter more in details, we have to preface that. Dik va maimer ne mahem shmiras haner neshama shmiras haner the Torah tluyim zabezahu. That this analysis of a maimer that the Reb Marash asks, why is the protecting the candle of the neshama and the protecting of the candle of the Torah dependent one upon another? So here is the Rebbe analyzes this question that the Reb Marash asked. The idea that we're saying that you protected my candle is not just that the person doesn't, heaven forbid, transgress the tzivui of the Torah. Even more so, if he fulfills the mitzvahs of the Torah. Therefore, he's very exact. Why are they dependent one upon the other? The idea that the protecting the candle of neshama is dependent on the fact that he doesn't transgress chas v'shalom on the commands of the Torah. When a person chas v'shalom transgresses a command of the Torah, so there's a blemish, there's a defect made in the neshama. As we know that the neshama has 248 spiritual limbs and 365 spiritual ideas of blood vessels and capillaries, etc., 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 and sinews. But and every mitzvah of the Torah corresponds to one of them. And if a person transgresses any of them, so he makes a blemish, he hurts, he damages, he affects the spiritual health of that part of the neshama. So that aspect, that the protection of the neshama through fulfilling the mitzvahs of the Torah is logical. That's not what the Maimer is really focusing on, asking about what's the connection between them. Rather, the Rebbe says, 2 lines from the bottom, line 27, the exact and the analysis of the Maimer is why protecting the candle of neshama is dependent upon the kiyum, meaning this making the neshama in a more elevated way through the kiyum of the Torah. The Rebbe says in a footnote 21, even footnote 22 a little bit, that there's 2 aspects in the Maimer Chazal. One thing the Maimer Chazal says, if you protect my candle, I will protect your candle. Then the flip side, what the Maimer Chazal says, if you will extinguish my candle, I will extinguish your candle. So he says the extinguishing of the candles means, like we said before, transgressing the Torah. And the protecting is going not just that he's not transgressing the Torah, but more so, he has coming to a higher level, a level of being Mekayim the Torah, that he's strengthening, he's elevating. And then the Rebbe goes on and says even more so. Last 3 lines on the page, if we get add, Shahadiuk be'maimer, who be'ikib, and again, the shamas, that's the examination and analysis of the Maimer, the Rebbe Marash, is primarily concerning the neshamas of Atzilus, to know how the Torah is and the neshama are dependent one on another. To mean again, the neshamas the bri, tzirasiyah, shem roiv, and neshamas concerning the neshamas of Biada. We said before, these are the majority of neshamas. Yeshleimer, we could say the reason why the protecting of the candle and neshama is dependent upon the candle of Torah is the kivun she'etzlam aguf and efshabamis milo master al shama, because by the nefesh, the neshamas, the bia, since the body and the animal soul cover and conceal the neshama, l'chein shmiras haner nishmas ma'idei kiyum Torah mitzvahs kaniskol el siv beis. Therefore, to fulfill the protection of this candle, their soul, is through the fulfillment of Torah mitzvahs, like we mentioned before, Siv Beis. The examination, the analysis, and the question of Maimer is primarily in the Neshamas of Atzilus. The key when Shatzal on Neshama Begilui, since by them the Neshama is revealed, they don't need the Torah. We said that that's why Aaron had to raise him up, because we're talking about Neshama Sabiyah. Aaron is the power of Torah, Zakan Aaron the Torah. So it's the Torah that raises up the Neshamas that are the state of ascent is concealed, but Neshamas Atzilus, their state of ascent is not concealed. So why does Aaron have to be the one, or why is it we need to have the Torah to be able to cause the elevation of the Neshamas Atzilus, to have it naturally without it being hit?